partnership with parents and the community, Birmingham Public Schools will provide educational excellence that empowers students to cultivate their individual brilliance and positively impact the world.
Welcome, and thank you, JC, for the mission statement. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, and this is a regular meeting of the Board of Education. And we are, well, I guess this is the last summer meeting because we are just under 2 weeks away from the beginning of school. I know the teachers are going back next week, right? Mm-hmm. And you've already been doing orientation for new hires, so it's sadly the end of summer, but we're looking forward to a new school year. So, Joan, first order of business is roll call.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Trustee Angeloni?
Present.
Trustee Hildenberg?
Here.
Trustee Joseph?
Here.
Trustee McKinney? Trustee Rass? Trustee Spencer?
Here.
And Trustee Zan? Thank you.
All right. And next on our agenda is recognitions. Dr. Roberson, do we have recognitions?
No,
No?
not today.
Okay.
No sports, no.
We'll just recognize all of us who are here.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
And with that, I believe we do not need a 5-minute recess, so we will also dispense with that item. Trustees, do we have any additions and deletions to the agenda?
Yes, I'd like to make an adjustment, an addition to the agenda by adding on Resolution 11. I'd like to make a motion.
I second that motion.
Can you just clarify what Resolution 11 is?
Ratification of tentative contract with the
It's-
Birmingham Education Association
Thank
for the
you.
school year 2023-2024 and 2024-2025.
Okay. So we can take that up now. Mr. Neforos, would you like to address this?
Thank you, President Hokumer. Before you in the additions and deletions is the resolution for the ratification of the tentative contract with the Birmingham Education Association for 23-24 and 24-25. This contract, as you may be aware, was a tentative agreement was reached last Friday. The association had their meeting as required and then had their vote that just finished today, so that's why this was added to the additions and deletions today. This represents several months of work with the association. We appreciate their partnership working with us. This is a 2-year contract. It is a significant adjustment to the salary schedule to make our teachers' salary schedule more competitive with the changing landscape of the labor market for our educators. Our old schedule had fallen a little bit behind, so we've made some adjustments to the schedule. It is an entirely new schedule. It is not the same numbers, just moved. It is an adjustment. We removed 2 steps at the very bottom of the schedule because starting salaries have gone up significantly, so we did that to represent that, and it is a 12-step schedule this year. All teachers will receive essentially the equivalent of a full step increase. And there will be an equity adjustment as well for teachers who have a gap between their current pay step and the number of years that they're teaching. We'll be doing a review of that, and the teachers will receive an additional step just this year only. And then next year for 24-25, $700 is added to each step, and as well as we add a 13th step to go back to the way we had the schedule for many years. And each teacher next year will receive a full step increase. Of course, with various language changes and everything else with this agreement, we also worked on a calendar, so we will have a full calendar to release very soon. We've had the key dates out, so we'll hopefully have that done by the end of the week. And then there is a draft version of the 24-25 calendar. It's mostly in final format. We'll probably just need to make a few tweaks later this fall once we do some more work on the high school schedule for for the 24-25 school year. I'm sorry, the 20.
Mr. Neforos,
Yes.
is that going to include the change from trimester to semester, that whole scheduling for
Yeah, that's-
24-25 school year,
That's
correct?
part of the reason the 24-25 just probably needs a few more views this fall, once we do some more work with our committee.
But it's good that the community has a framework, something that they can prepare for.
Right, we will have that out as soon as we can, but
Super,
it won't wait till
super.
next summer, let's put it that way. There is continued letters of agreement with the association to continue the work we've been doing on the committees for the high school schedule and the high school start times. And then the total cost of the compensation increases are about $4.2 million in the first year and about $2.9 million in the second year that are well within your parameters that you provided to me.
Okay, and so trustees, before we begin further discussion or questions, can I get a motion to consider Resolution 11, the tentative agreement for the Birmingham Education Association and the Birmingham Board of Education?
I move to consider Resolution 11.
I second that motion.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Naforos or further discussion, comments?
I'm just so glad that we were able to come to an agreement before things got even further delayed, because it's just, it's not good for morale moving forward in every way. I mean, for staff morale, for student morale, for community, even for the CLT and for us. It's just a good feeling that we can get together, we can sit down, hash out whatever it is we need to discuss, reach agreements, whether they're through compromise, whether they're through, just grace or, so I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you all for your participation and your hard work.
Yes.
And thank you, Dean. Thank you and your team very much. I know
It
it's
was-
not easy. And we had 5 contracts.
A lot.
We have 5.
At one time,
We're working
so-
through them, we're almost done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do appreciate the
So
partnership
thank you and
working
your
with the
team as
BEA
well.
and all the work that was put into this with Amy Wagner, our president, and Mr. Worrell, the UNICEF director, and their team, and our team here in the district office. So yeah, it was a good process, and it took a little longer, but that's okay, we reached a good conclusion.
And yes, echo your statements, trustee Ajmuni, as well as just, it's also nice to have a little bit of a, I guess, a miniature, longer version instead of 1 year. So that was nice as well. And we appreciate that it was resolved and done with before the school started. Like you said, to have that out of the way. So now, let's just get the education in, right? Let's educate our students, and hopefully we'll have a nice, amazing year. And we thank everybody who was involved in this transaction here. So thank you.
Okay. And I will just echo the same thing. Thank you to everyone who was involved in the process. I know it's laborious and long days, and I guess I would also just say that the trustees, while we consider these agreements, we also do, it's a heavy job because we weigh our fiscal responsibility along with our responsibility to keep and retain world-class talent, which is a goal in our strategic plan and which has always been something that the whole Birmingham community values. So, I know it did take time, but I am glad that I think we have something that is going to help us achieve both those goals. So thank you, everybody. And with that, can I get a vote to approve Resolution 11? Wait, I can read it here. Ratification of the tentative contract with the Birmingham Education Association for the school years 2023-24 and 24-25.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that passes 4-0. next up.
One more thing. This had, just the timing of later vacations for trustees and, certain people. This was fully agreed on unanimously. So just so that you know and can feel good about that. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that. Okay, Dr. Roberson, Superintendent's report.
Sure. So I want to say first, welcome. I know Kevin was here at the last meeting, but I was not. So I want to say welcome to our new Chief Financial and Operations Officer, Kevin Teratuta. He has been baptized by fire already, jumping into negotiations and other things as well in the audit, right in the middle of audit season, but we are happy to have him here with us today. He comes from the Clawson School District, and prior to that was a auditing manager for Plant Moran for 10 years. So, welcome. I also want to say thank you to the union presidents and their negotiating team, as we have now settled. Well, hopefully, after you guys approve all the contracts this evening, have settled 4 of the 5 contracts. So thank you to Kristen Ryan, the president of the Paraprofessionals Union, Othamian Peterson, president of the Administrator Union, Tricia Van Fossen, president of the, am I not loud? Isn't my teacher's voice loud enough? Tricia Van Fossen, president of the Secretaries Union, Amy Wagner, president of the Teachers Union, Scott Worrell, UNISERV director, and all of their negotiating teams. We just want to say thank you for working collaboratively with us so that we can get to this point. One of the things that I can say for sure is that everyone who is involved in these processes, their main goal is to serve students and serve students well. And so we're glad that we're able to get to this point where we can do that. Also want to say thank you to the negotiating team and our district negotiating team. So Dean Neforos, Mark Lindenberg, April Imperial, Laura Mahler, Stacy Wigton. Kevin's already been thrown in, so he attended some of the meetings. Susan Smith from Groves, Marla Adebacher from Derby, and Jason Pezamoska from West Maple. I think I've gotten everyone. And I also just want to thank the board. Thank you, trustees, for your support in doing and making sure that our staff is taken care of so that we can attract talented staff, but also retain the ones that we already have. And so I just appreciate your commitment to that. So thank you. Tomorrow, we will have our Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce breakfast. It will be here, hosted at the EAC. We have that opportunity to share the great things that are happening here in Birmingham, as well. The superintendent from Bloomfield Hills will be here to also share the great things that are happening in Bloomfield Hills. Time for question and answering, and just mingling with the business community who are our partners. So we're excited to host that tomorrow at 8 a.m., from 8 a.m. to 9:30. As we're getting started for the new school year, we've had 2 administrative retreats where we brought in our principals and just kicking off the new year, talking about curriculum, instruction, safety, and all the things that principals need to get started with their school year, and we're excited about that. Also this week, we started our new teacher orientation, so we have quite a bit new teachers and new staff around the district, and so they were here for the last 2 days, learning more about the district and their role. And next week, we get to welcome all of our staff in. We'll have our Red Apple Breakfast on Wednesday, and we're excited about that. I know some of you will be here. You'll be giving a welcome to our staff. And our theme this year is joy. And we have so much to be thankful for in this district. Having joy does not mean being happy every day, but it is having a certain peace that things will go well and they'll all work out in the end. And so we're excited to kick that off. We have students, in addition to student performances, we have student MCs this year. So we're excited to do that from Groves and from Seaholm. So for some of you who are in the audience, and if you're watching live, we have, you'll see in front of the trustees laptops, and that's because we are moving to paperless board meetings. They only will print out the agenda and everything else will be on the laptop. And so it is not trustees looking at their emails, but actually following along with resolutions. So we are excited to move to paperless board meetings.
And thanks for Joan.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for
Joan.
Joan.
Setting everything up and
Yes.
organizing. And, you know, it's funny because I feel like as you're talking, I'm trying so hard not to look at my, you know, electronic agenda here and move it up and down and focus on what you're hearing. So I'm going to have to learn to balance that because it's so easy with paper and pencil, but it's so damaging, and we need to get with the times. So thank you, Joan, for doing this.
Yes.
It's great.
We'll save money, time, and
Yeah,
resources.
great.
So,
Excellent.
and just lastly, excited for the first day of school. We won't have another board meeting before the first day of school, and just ready to welcome smiling faces back into our school buildings. I know all of us will be at some school on the first day. We're all taking turns, but we're just excited to see children. And not that it's bad to see these adults, but it's not the same as being able to see children back in the building. So just excited for that. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. Lori's making me nervous that now, can you guys hear me? Okay. So next we have board comment and request. Trustees, do we have any board comments?
No?
Okay. I would just like to make one comment. So, Bika stole my thunder on almost every topic, but I will just add that I did attend the orientation for the new staff members on Monday. No, Monday, lunch, yeah. And I was very excited to see all of the new staff, but I was particularly interested in the fact that 2 of the new teachers graduated from, one from Seaholm, one from Groves in 2018. And they are starting jobs here. I think they're both elementary. Yes. And one of them actually said to me, "Oh, I think I graduated with your daughter," which made me feel really old. But the reason why I mention this is because as we talk about our strategic plan, making sure that we're recruiting, world-class talent is part of that. And I mean, what better way to recruit talent than from the people that you guys probably all taught at one point? So kudos to whoever found these 2, and let's hope we get some more of our own graduates, so.
And you know what? That's also goes perfectly in line with the curriculum we just approved for the teaching, the teacher mentoring class. I can't remember what it's called. Why am I drawing a blank?
I know what you're talking about. The future educators.
Future educators, thank you. For the future educators. I mean, that's brilliant. It's a great connection, and hopefully we can get more of those kids coming back.
Well, these 2 seemed very excited, so I was happy. So, yes.
Excellent.
So good job to whoever made it all happen.
I just wanted to wish everyone a great, wonderful year. As many people have already said, this is our last meeting before the school starts, so we'll have a good year, and we wish everyone prosperous year from all the students, all the staff, and all of our buildings. So thank you.
Okay. Next, we have public comment. I will first read our public comment policy. Because the Birmingham Board of Education values public meetings, not just meetings in public, we welcome public comment on school issues. Most comments can be concisely stated in 3 minutes, and the board respectfully asks that comments remain focused on the topic or issue and not on specific personnel. We welcome your comments, but cannot discuss nor debate items not on the agenda. When asked to discuss non-agenda items, we can share facts but not engage in discussion. And with that, we have one public comment, Scott Worrell.
Somebody's writing
Oh,
some. It's going to be 2.
Go ahead, Scott. Scott, go ahead.
I'll do it quick. I can go quick if it's easier for you.
Whatever you go ahead.
All right, I've ruined this beautiful moment.
oh. Wait, so are you not speaking, Scott?
I am.
He is,
Oh,
but I
okay.
Can I have a card?
Yes?
Yeah. Grab that real quick.
Thank you.
I deeply apologize for interrupting Mr. Worrell. My name is Amy Voigt, and this is my colleague Elizabeth Cook, and we are delighted to invite everyone to meet your mascot at the movies this Thursday evening at Beverly Park. They are showing,
Super Mario Brothers.
which will be super
At
fun.
dusk.
At dusk. But prior to that, families will be able to meet and greet some of our school mascots from the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. We have a number of students who will be in their mascot costumes, and the BEA is sponsoring popcorn and water. We'd be delighted to see everyone.
Great.
That's all.
We're done now. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And I saw the sign as I was driving past Beverly Park today. Okay, next, Scott Worrell.
My name is Scott Worrell. As you all know, I'm the executive director for this district and others. And just to piggyback on what Elizabeth and Amy said, that's something that the union sponsors and supports. It's part of the cooperative relationship that we have here in the district, and we're proud to do that and look forward to a good event. I'm here on behalf of Amy Wagner, in part, who is away this weekend, or this day, to thank the Board of Education and the members of the Central Administration and Building Administration negotiating team, and everybody in the community for supporting this contract. On behalf of Dan Drapel and Dominic Perrone, Heidi Smith, Teacher of the Year, as well as Ann Wind and Ed Coghill, members of our bargaining team, we appreciate the relationship and the cooperation through the negotiation process. Just a little bit of familiarity with the process. It's called interest-based bargaining. It's very different. We work in a cooperative group, sit interchangeably, not opposition from each other. And we were led by 2 facilitators, Shane Peters, who is the superintendent of Bridgman, and Nancy Wachowski, my colleague with the MEA. They facilitated and guided the entire group. There were 17 sessions from 4 to 8 hours, so it was a lot of work, but this team went through what amounted to around 30 pages of contract changes that we hope to support the growth of students in this district, focusing on things like special education, junior kindergarten. We're working on high school start times and a high school schedule, as Trustee Angelou mentioned, and a number of other things that we believe that will be beneficial for the staff and the students in this district. So thank you, April and Dean and Mark and Mbika and Kevin and Laura, who's not here, as well as Susan Smith and Marla Adebacher and Jason Pescamoska from West Maple, the entire administrative bargaining team, and Kevin coming in at the end, and particularly the board, providing the latitude and the grace and the encouragement to get this done. We thank you for that. So looking forward to this year.
Great, thank you. Okay, next we have our general consent agenda, which contains 2 items, our personnel report, as well as minutes from the August 1st special meeting. So trustees, can I get a motion to consider Resolution 6 consent agenda?
I move to consider Resolution 6, accept consent agenda items.
Support.
Okay. Did anybody have any questions for Mr. Naforos regarding the personnel report?
No, just so impressed and glad to see the number of new hires. It was impressive, made me feel good, like our kids are in great hands. And I know, again, it was a huge effort, Mr. Neforos, and thank you, you and your team for putting everything together.
No, it's our pleasure. We certainly want to thank all of our administrators and the interview teams in the schools, because they're the ones who really do the work and deliver some very good candidates to us at the end after they've vetted them and done reference checks and followed our processes. Just anecdotally, when I've given offers, because I give all the offers out to our professional staff, and my HR manager gives them out to all our hourly staff. They're very excited. Everybody, without a doubt, is excited to join Birmingham. And when they come into our office and meet us to do paperwork with my staff, they're wonderful. They're very excited. And then we saw it this week, as President Holcomb said at the orientation. That just was so. I want to give a shout out to Cindy Sedisari, because she did an immense amount of work to organize that whole session, and wonderful feedback. I was in both days, and very excited. New group of teachers we invited in, and they're very much looking forward to working with our students starting in a couple weeks.
And do we have more teachers to welcome soon?
We will have some more still coming. We have a few more recs
Amazing.
for hires, and we still have some people still to hire, but we were working hard to make sure everybody's in place for the first day of school.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Our pleasure.
Okay. Trustees, all in favor of approving Resolution 6, consent agenda, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay. That also passes 4-0. And that takes us to the human resources portion of the meeting. Did you want to stay seated? Did you want to get up at the podium? It's fine, you can stay seated. Okay, so Resolution 7 is ratification of the tentative agreement with the Association of Birmingham Public Schools Administrators and Supervisory Personnel, ABSASP, I never know how to say it, for the 23-24 and 24-25 school years.
I move to consider Resolution 7, and since you just read it,
I
I
don't.
don't think I need to read it again, for the approval of the contract for ABSASP.
I would like to second that.
Excellent. Okay. Would you
Thank you.
like to give us a brief summary?
Yes, I will. Again, this is a 2-year agreement with our association for all of our administrators, which are our building administrators, our athletic directors, our supervisors of special ed, and our curriculum coordinators. We are, again, having a 2-year agreement, similar to our agreement with the BEA. This is similar in the sense that we had to redo the salary schedule a bit. We dropped the first step, and we adjusted the steps and added a new top step, because, again, to recognize that salaries have changed for administrators as well. We applied a 2% on-schedule increase to the entire schedule and increased all the steps. And then all administrators who were still below the top step received a full step increase. And administrators who were already at the top step received a 2% on-schedule increase. We gave some additional off-schedule money to top step administrators who had been in place for a couple of years on the top step, because they have been mostly receiving off-schedule money the last few years. So we wanted to acknowledge the fact that they were a little bit behind on compensation, so we wanted to add that to the entire agreement. Again, the total cost of this is within your parameters at about $413,000 for the 2 years.
Okay. Trustees, any questions?
Again,
Do you know, I also want to let the community know and the audience that we have met, the board has met several times discussing all the details of each one of these contracts. So if we're not raising questions for Mr. Neforos now and bringing up points, it's because we've already been through these. And so this is just like the final stage.
yes, and like you mentioned before, it was a unanimous decision between all of the board. And we're just happy to support the members of this union.
Okay. Well, if there are no further comments or questions, trustees, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution 7 passes 4-0. And then that brings us to Resolution 8, which is the adoption of non-affiliated employees, central office administrators, managers, assistant managers, operational assistants, and technology staff, compensation modifications for the 2023, 24, and 24, 25 school years. And whoever,
I would like to move to consider resolution number 8, as you just stated.
thank you.
Support.
Okay. Again, are there questions or comments regarding this resolution?
I can share a little bit again, President Holcomer. Similar to the agreement with our building administrators, our non-affiliated employees, essentially referring to non-affiliated with a union, so non-union employees that were listed there. Similar agreement in the sense that it will be a 2% on-schedule increase to the various salary schedules or multiple salary schedules with the different levels of employees in this group. So 2% on-schedule increase. Each employee who is below the top step will receive a full step increase on the new schedule. Employees at the very top step will receive a 2% on-schedule increase as well. There will also be some off-schedule money, as you see listed there, a little bit different based on the income levels of the groups, to represent that, again, many of the top step people in these categories had not received on-schedule money for a few years. And then the total cost of this agreement for the 2 years is about $305,000.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, comments, questions for Mr. Navarros?
Just repeating other comments I made, that it's great to have this to be done for 2 years. It's great to have them part of our team, and we're glad that we made this agreement.
Okay. All right, then, all in favor of Resolution 8, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Joan, that also passes 4-0, and that takes us to Resolution 9, which is the adoption of noon aid compensation modifications for 23-24.
I move to, sorry.
I'm waiting.
It's okay, it's okay. I didn't want to monopolize.
I move to discuss Resolution 9, adoption of noon aid compensation modification for
Support.
2023.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a little different in the sense there is not a collective bargaining agreement. We wanted to bring this to you. As you know, our noon aides operate in our schools to work with our students during lunchtime and recess. One of the challenges our schools have been facing the last few years is being able to hire and retain enough noon aides. Previously we had a 3-tier wage system. That rates started off around $10.50, then they moved to about $11.30 or so, and they were at $12.40, I think, on the top, right around that. We weren't using the lower wage scale that much any longer, but really the problem was recruiting people at that wage. These folks who work in these positions aren't working full-time. They're primarily about 2 hours a day or so in the middle of the day. Sometimes they are people who work maybe as a kids club associate in the morning or the afternoon. Sometimes our bus drivers through Durham actually come and do this work midday. So this is looking to increase the pay to a common single rate that we'll use across the board. So everybody who's existing will get an increase, and then we will be recruiting at the $13 an hour rate in the hopes to be able to bring in some more people and fill all these positions to support our administrators and our staff at our buildings during lunchtime.
Hopefully, this will retain
I hope so.
the good people we have.
Right. And the cost of this is $113,000. Again, this group of employees does not receive benefits or anything else. This is purely just pay for the work that they do during the day.
Yeah, and just a quick comment that the trustees unanimously agreed that we need to be paying people, a decent amount of money. I mean, you could go work at McDonald's for more. And I will say, having had children who've gone through the system, the lunch aides work hard, and they are there because otherwise, you guys know this, teachers have to fill in. So it's important, and I'm glad to see that we increase the rate. And again, I hope it also helps us retain them for longer periods of time. So trustees, with that, everyone in favor of Resolution 9, adoption of noon aid compensation, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Joan, that passes 4-0. And that brings us to other reports, which we do have another resolution. It's Resolution 10, which is the schedule of school starting and ending times. And is anyone going to mind if I read it?
No, but I have to make a motion
Oh,
first.
yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I motion to consider Resolution 10, the schedule of school starting and ending times, and I look forward to when we can adjust it.
Second.
Okay, just for the public, this is the schedule of school starting and ending times for this year, and we are approving the following schedule. Elementary school starts at 8:49 a.m. and ends at 3:50. On half-days, it starts at 8:49 a.m. and ends at 11:50. Birmingham Covington School, full day is 8:18 a.m. until 3:20 p.m., and a half-day is 8:18 a.m. to 11:20 a.m. The middle schools, Berkshire and Derby, are 8:15 a.m. till 3:14 p.m., and a half-day is 8:15 a.m. till 11:15 a.m. And finally, the high schools, Groves and Seaholm, full day, 7:30 a.m. until 2:50 p.m., half-day, 7:30 a.m. till 10:50 a.m., and then X Block, which, is that still Tuesday and Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, 8:25 a.m. until 2:50 p.m. So those are the start times. Trustees, all in favor of approving Resolution 10, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Passes 4-0. And so that brings us to the calendar. Again, we have not published the complete calendar. I'm assuming we can be looking forward to that within the next few days.
Yes, we'll release that with, this week, would be the goal.
Okay, wonderful. We do, though, just as a note, have out there on our website right now, the first day of school, and then all of the major holidays, if people are trying to schedule vacation plans. And are there any other announcements, trustees?
Just the first day of school is coming up
Yeah.
real fast. The 29th is a half a day, district-wide, and I hope all of our kids and staff are getting ready. It just happens so fast, so fast. The older I get, the faster time is flying. So thank you for all your hard work in preparing in your classrooms. I hope everybody's able to get in your buildings. I mean, that was always a difficult feat when floors are being waxed or construction being done. So I hope you're in. And congratulations on another school year.
Okay.
That's it.
And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn at 7:40?
This is amazing, and I motion to adjourn and close the meeting at 7:40.
Yes, before I second, there's got to be a record.
Uh-huh.
So I
Probably.
second that.
Okay, all in
Thank
favor?
you.
Aye. Thank you.
Everyone for coming.